but I've never seen one of these.
It's between 40 and 50 million years old.
If this thing is genuine, there's no question I want it.
Stay until the very end to see what happens. Subscribe to the channel and comment down below saying I subscribed to enter this month's shoutout giveaway. Hey guys, what's up? Today we'll be going over times where the Pawn Stars were outsmarted by customers. Let's head into it. The Jimi Hendrix experience.
Let me give you 450,000.
A lot of customers stroll into the pawn shop toting guitars, but when a long-haired seller claimed to own one of Jimi Hendrix's electrics, Rick Harrison got all fanboy behind the counter. If this was actually owned and played by the legend himself, this will be the coolest guitar to ever walk into my shop, he said in a 2014 episode. Harrison brought in a local expert, Jesse Amoroso of Cowtown Guitars, to examine the item. Amoroso confirmed the '63 Olympic white Fender Stratocaster was in fact played by Hendrix. It had the telltale scuff marks of the rough riffing left-hander, as well as historic photos, documents, and a serial number. Amoroso estimated it was worth $1 million at auction. Harrison put up $450,000. The seller wanted $750,000. As he turned to leave, Harrison jumped to $600,000, but those boots kept walking. At the time of this reading, the Strat was back on the market, but with Cowtown Guitars as its broker. Did Amoroso make a backdoor deal with the pawn shop's customer, or is his niche business simply a better fit for the Fender? The Shoeless Joe Jackson autograph.
Shoeless Joe Jackson was a baseball legend. He was such a good hitter, Babe Ruth actually copied his style.
In the season 6 episode Say It Ain't So, Rick made another ill-fated gamble without consulting his trustworthy experts, shelling out $13,000 on a book he believed might contain the authentic signature of baseball great Shoeless Joe Jackson. Rick couldn't have been more excited during the appraisal, saying this is absolutely incredible and speculating that it might be the rarest sports signature period because Jackson was illiterate.
Do you know how rare it is to find his signature?
No, not at all.
It's the rarest sports signature, period.
Wow.
But despite the seller's questionable certificate of authenticity and Rick's own reservations, as he admitted, of all the sports signatures in the world, this is the one most fake. He bought it anyways. After hearing from Rebecca, his book expert, that the signature was likely a fake, Rick then sent out to another authenticator who reiterated the bad news. Not only was it a forgery, but it was a laughably bad one. The Willie Mays uniform.
Give me an idea of what you want for it.
I think around $45,000 would be a fair offering.
In a 2012 episode called Free Willie, Corey made the blunder of forking over $31,000 for what he believed was a game-worn Willie Mays San Francisco Giants uniform from 1961. But the red flags with this one were apparent from the jump. For starters, the uniform was pristine, a point not lost on Chumlee, and observed, this doesn't look game-worn. Willie Mays was a badass. He was sliding around in the dirt and the grass. I imagine there will be a bunch of stains on it. Good observation, chum. Also, the seller had no authentication paperwork whatsoever, which is never a good sign. But Big Hoss took a gamble, and boy was he all kinds of wrong. In an in-depth tracking of what happened to the uniform post Pawn Stars, the blog Hall of Shame discovered that not only did they fail to retail it at a ridiculous asking price of $80,000, but they only ended up getting $19,200 for it at an auction around 2 years later. And it gets worse. After reaching out to Dave Grob, the senior uniform authenticator at Mears, Hall of Shame reported that the uniform was never worn in a game by Mays because it never even belonged to Mays. It was a Spalding salesman sample with minimal value, estimated to be worth around $2,000 to $3,000. Of course, that technically means Corey didn't get as ripped off as he could have, since he still unloaded it for just shy of $20,000, but we seriously doubt he's happy with how that deal went down. The Wells Fargo Strongbox. In a 5th season episode called Corey's Big Play, Rick made the unusual mistake of buying something he was unsure of before he had it authenticated. He dropped $450 on what he believed to be a 19th century Wells Fargo Strongbox, only to have his hopes of a profit shot down by expert and show regular Mark the Beard of Knowledge Hall Patton, who called the box a complete fantasy piece. Hall Patton twisted the knife a little more, saying it's one of the most faked items out there. The seller also brought the box and stuff with 2 ball and chain sets he thought were artifacts from the Yuma and Folsom prisons, but Rick recognized them as fakes right away, meaning Rick definitely should have seen something wasn't right with the box. The old man who observed the whole transaction wasted no time rubbing it in, telling Rick, I thought it was fake to start with, but he let the deal go through just so he could have something to hang over Rick's head. Rick's $100,000 loss at the auction.
I could see this going to a collector at auction easily.
If the world-famous gold and silver pawn shop can't retail an item, they always have the option of still turning a profit by sending it to auction. That's what Rick tried to do with several big-ticket items, including a 1940s Indian motorcycle with a sidecar and a Vic Flick owned and played Fender Stratocaster, which he put on the block at Julian's Auctions in Los Angeles, according to the Indie Channel. Unfortunately, he took a hit for $29,000 on the motorcycle and $35,000 on the guitar. Ouch. He must not have done well with some other items either, because he reported his total loss at around $100,000. Sold most of my items, getting my ass handed to me, but it doesn't feel good. Trying to look for a silver lining and I just can't find it. I'm dreading going back to the shop, Rick said on the Rick's Roulette episode. Some people's children, right? Old man? Robo ripoff. This is a case of the shop almost getting ripped off by one of its own. Austin Chumlee Russell really wanted to buy Robosaurus, a 31-ton fire-breathing transforming Tyrannosaurus Rex that feeds on cars, trucks, and small planes. It sounds scary, but the robot was made in the 80s, which now renders it adorable. I've never seen him this excited, said colleague Corey Big Hoss Harrison as the pair met up with the dinosaurs dealers in a 2012 episode. It's a money-making machine, the seller said. It can be rented out, it can be leased out, it can do bar mitzvahs, it can do big giant demolition derbies. $25,000 a day you can make from this thing. The asking price, $1 million. Harrison didn't bite, calling Robosaurus the biggest, most impractical thing I've ever seen. Ignoring Russell was a wise decision. The last time Robo changed hands was in 2008 when it sold for $575,000 at a classic car auction in Arizona. The seller's $25,000 estimate may have also been a stretch. According to Robosaurus.com, though the dino performed at the Miramar Air Show in San Diego in 2015, its earning potential was temporarily sidelined by a shoulder injury. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.